Hello, home buyers. I recently had a client contact me. They had found a home that they felt was their dream home and they wanted to have me analyze it for them just to make sure that they're not making any big mistake. And this was a very typical type of apartment that I analyzed for my clients. And I think there's something that we can all learn from this particular case. So I wanted to present to you all. So let's get started. So this apartment that the client asked me to take a look at is located in Espoo, and it's a nice apartment. It's been renovated recently, and actually my perception is that no one has actually lived here after the renovation. So the seller has tried to make it look nice and they want to sell it forward. And my perception is that it's probably an investor who actually just bought it recently and now they're trying to sell it with a higher price after doing the renovation. Now, the first thing we see is that they're trying to showcase the nice kitchen that they've put in. And actually one thing that's interesting in this apartment is that it used to be 2-room place, but they've made it into a 3-room place. So they've reorganized the apartment. They've put the kitchen where the living room used to be, giving them an extra bedroom in the apartment, which of course is good for these older apartments, but that already tells you something about the mindset of the seller. They're definitely an investor. Now, when buying from investors, as a home buyer, you might not be the one who makes the best deal because of course the investor is trying to make the last dollar or the last euro on the apartment. And here we see the actual floor plan. So they have the kitchen, the bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. It's a big balcony that they have as well, and I mean, it's a nice home, so nothing wrong with that. Now, the thing what a lot of home buyers would typically pay attention to when looking at this, they look at the nice decoration, they look at all the nice surfaces, they look really nice, and these are the things that you fall in love with. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that, but you do need to look beyond the surface. So when I look at a place like this, I always look at what are the things that they're trying to hide, and not necessarily hide, but just the things they don't want you to start thinking about too much. For instance, one thing that I noticed is, okay, they have the old electrics here, so they haven't actually fixed all the electric sockets and so forth. To do that, that's going to cost you several thousand euros if you would want to have nice new sockets, which would be suitable for a place like this, which has been completely renovated indoors. But since it's an investor who's doing it, they probably haven't wanted to put the money into the new sockets. Windows are very nice. There's a lot of nice good things going on for this apartment. But this picture of the bathroom is really what caught my attention. And I think this is something that when a home buyer who's not too familiar with how buildings are made, they might not pay too much attention to this. They think, oh, it looks really nice and fresh. But the thing is that this is actually an old bathroom as far as I can tell. So the old tiles may have been brown or whatever, but they've been painted white, which makes it look really nice and fresh. And they've also put in a new shower. They've put in a new glass door here. So it looks all functional and all well. Now, the problem here is, however, that typically the lifespan of a bathroom is around 25-30 years. And this apartment building is actually already over 30 years old. So this bathroom here should have by this point been completely renovated already. Now, since it hasn't, there is the chance that there might be a water damage, the tiles might leak, and downstairs they might get flooded or whatever. You never know. And so you do have to pay attention when buying a home that you don't want to look at a place where the bathroom looks nice, but when you look underneath the surface, or if you would understand that these are actually painted tiles, the tiles actually might not be so good and their lifespan may have come to its end. Now, what actually confirms this, they actually had an expert come in to take a look at all of the bathrooms to see whether there was some water damage and whether some of those bathrooms should be fixed. Now, as a home buyer, I would really want to know what did they actually find out about these bathrooms, because maybe they figured that, oh, all of the bathrooms should be renovated already, but they left it to the responsibility of the homeowners. Now, if those bathrooms haven't been renovated, at some point they might start leaking, and in the end, it's going to be all of those shareholders who have to pay for those renovations. So even if it's not your bathroom that actually does leak, it does indicate that some of these other bathrooms in this building complex are already in bad shape and should be renovated. And if they're not, there might be trouble ahead. Another thing I would be interested in is that in 2016, they had outside experts make a whole analysis of the building complex. And in these analysis, they give a 10-year plan on what are the renovations that should be done during the next 10 years. Now, of course, this report is getting old, but what you would want to check is to make sure that these renovations that the experts said that the building complex should do, whether they've actually done those or not. One of the things that some home buyers may also not pay attention to is that just a while ago, there's been some examinations of what the outside surfaces of the building complex look like. And when we look at the renovation plan for the next 5 years, we actually see that they're planning to fix up some of these outside surfaces of the building complex to make sure that water does not come into the building. That's what these batolevu, it's like a board that they put underneath the ground. Now, in itself, this doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem, but it is something you want to ask and find out about, because sometimes these are put in cases where they've realized that water is coming into the building complex and that can cause mold problems and whatnot. And now they might be wanting to try to fix those problems. So you do really want to make sure, why are they putting these in now? Why haven't they done that earlier? And also try to get an estimate of what these renovations will then cost, because pretty much what this will require is that they tear down the concrete from around the building complex. If there's a road or a parking lot or something, they're going to have to tear that down in order to put these new boards in. So it's not a very cheap renovation. So then if we look at the price, we notice that this place is selling for $172,000. Now, I know that in this building complex, apartments have been selling for much cheaper, and I actually did some research, and I think that this particular apartment was probably sold a few months ago for around 130,000 euros. So they've done some renovation and now they're selling for 40,000 euros more than what they actually bought the place for. And yes, they have made it look nice, but is it really worth 40,000 euros more? That they put in a new kitchen and they put in a new flooring, they painted the ceilings and they painted the bathroom. That's pretty much it. But as a first-time home buyer, these are the things that people fall in love with, and that's how the investor can make a good deal. They buy it for cheaper when it's all run down and they make it look nice, and then they sell it forward for a good profit. So as a home buyer, of course, I know that not everyone is willing to go through the hassle of renovating their own place, but it is still good to keep an eye on the type of place that you're buying and consider, do you want to pay an extra 10, 15, 20,000 euros for this place compared to if you would have bought it for cheaper on the market and had an expert come and renovate it for you? You would get the same result, but you would end up saving quite a lot of money. So these are the type of options that you do want to consider. And even if you do end up buying a place like this, make sure that you're aware of the renovations that have been done in the building complex and what might be coming up. Because when you look at the picture of the bathroom, yes, at the moment it might look nice, it's good enough, you can use it, no problem. But maybe a year or two from now, there's going to be problems and those are going to cause extra expenses. So you just want to be aware of these when buying a home. And that's something that I want to really help people out with. And so to give a quick plug, this is what I do. I help people out. If you have a place that you're interested in, that you want to buy, I can help you analyze it, look through all the documents to try to make sure that you don't make any mistakes when buying a home in Finland, and of course trying to help you make good deals. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to contact me and let's talk more. But that's it for this time. I'll see you in the next video.